Hi, everyone, and welcome. We are delighted that you're here with us this evening. My name is Carol Easterday. I'm the Director of College Counseling at Buff Jesuit, and I am going to continue letting some folks in. And so this evening, we are going to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Jesuit college experience. And currently we have two professionals from the admission world with us this evening, just to kind of go over a few of the kind of housekeeping hints. There's the opportunity to ask questions, to use the Q&A button. Make sure that as you are entering, you have your camera and your microphone off, and you are muted and your video is off. Also, please make sure that you sign up for any additional sessions. This is one of many college opportunities to investigate some great institutions. And you can check out the schedule at InACAC. And this will be a great night. So I am not going to go any longer. I want to give the opportunity to also let you know that the recording will be available after the session tonight, and it will be available for anyone who wishes to download it and look at it later. So at this point, I'm going to get us started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dallas Stokes, and I am one of the admission counselors with Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hi, everybody. My name is Adam Parliament. I'm one of the assistant directors of enrollment at John Carroll University, which is located about 15 minutes outside of Cleveland.
Excellent. And Adam, if you wouldn't mind, start the screen share.
Absolutely.
So basically today, as we get this up, we're going to just talk to you all about what sort of a Jesuit education is, what that will mean for you all, and everything like that. Can you skip over here for a second? So again, this is just us. And then our colleague, Richard Brown, will not be with us today. And so we'll just give his facts about St. Louis University. We'll share that and everything a little later. So we do want to start off with the simple idea of what does it mean to be Jesuit educated, right? The base premise at the end of the day is that you're going to be more connected with sort of a philosophical, theological base core curriculum implemented and combined with your sort of major, your program, your specification. And within those theology, philosophy, humanity classes that you'll take throughout your 4 years at the Jesuit Institution, you're going to learn a lot about critical thinking, about being aware, about being socially present, right? Social justice is a very big thing that you will find all throughout pretty much any Jesuit university, okay? So you're going to be engaged in a lot of volunteer service. I know, for example, at Xavier, it's never necessarily required, but it's more or less a part of the culture and the community that students feel openly engaged to go out and want to do those things on their own, whether that be locally in the local city, whether that be domestically in the US, or whether that be internationally, right? And so those ideas that you learn throughout your 4 years of social justice, of social change, of trying to do what we would consider as the good, the greater good, a term that you will hear oftentimes as considered as magis, the greater good, the more, that's going to be the essence of the Jesuit education at the end of the day, is taking those ideas of humanities, good moral, ethical values, combining it with your professional major, with whatever you're studying, and trying to enhance and create very good, well-rounded individuals, no matter your background, no matter your faith, religion, creed, or ethnicity. And to me, that is one of the most beautiful aspects about the Jesuit network. Adam, can you continue? So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Jesuits were a group of priests founded in 1540 by St. Ignatius. And the Jesuit network is actually a lot bigger than a lot of people take into consideration, right? Not just in the US, but also throughout the world, right? And that network, when you meet other people that have been Jesuit educated, whether you're Jesuit or not, there you have that sort of social connection. You have that sort of sense of camaraderie where you feel like you're a part of a family, where you feel like you're a part of a home, not just for your 4 years at that institution, but for the lifetime afterwards, okay? Some of the connections, some of the friendships made throughout my 4 years, I would have never assumed that I would have made if I hadn't had gone to Xavier. Okay, and so that sort of relationship that you build throughout your 4 years is essential, right? And again, we are very good with the Jesuit idea, with the Jesuit traditions of embracing students of all religious backgrounds and cultures. I can personally speak for that. I came from inner city public school, grew up in the city my whole life, didn't really have a Catholic or Christian background before I came to Xavier. If any of you know anything about Xavier, we are in Cincinnati. I grew up a fan of the University of Cincinnati, which is a rivalry in basketball from Xavier. So it absolutely broke my dad's heart when I went to Xavier. But at the same time, like, I didn't have that real Jesuit Catholic Christian background when I came to Xavier. Never once have I felt outside of that culture, outside of that family or community. And that has been my experience all throughout the Jesuit network, all throughout other Jesuit campuses, right? And so that is sort of the philosophy at the end of the day, is that our ideas are universally good. So no matter what background, race, creed, or religion you come from, it is very easy to get behind the fundamental Jesuit ideas of going out, promoting positive values, promoting positive ideas, and doing good things, especially for those that we would consider need it most, okay? So here, I will just talk about some of the core surroundings of what create a Jesuit education. Again, throughout this whole presentation, we're really going to talk about different elements of these, but I'm only going to mention a few. So one that I would like to mention is forming and educating agents of change, okay? This is very important, as you all, or us as students, are the agents, okay, that are going to go out and make the change, right? So when we talk about forming and educating students to make change, that's when I really talk about the core curriculum. And I'm not going to talk too much about that because we'll talk more about that later. But that core curriculum is what's going to drive you to become more of a critical thinker, to become more socially aware, and to ask yourself and to reflect on, like, hey, is what I'm doing in my professional world okay? And if it's not okay, how do we improve that? How do we make that better? Okay, how do I improve what I'm doing to help those around me? And that doesn't even have to land just in your professional world, right? It could totally be in your personal life as well. If you have let's say relationship issues with people close to you, loved ones, things like that, having that foundation of critical thinking, of reflection, helps you formulate thought and helps you adjust and be able to change in your future, and then to sort of implement and create that change for other people as well, right? Another one that I really like to talk about is Cursus Personalis. And this one I won't get too in detail with, because again, we'll go a little bit more into it later. But Cursus Personalis is a very beautiful idea because it's the essence of taking care of the whole body, not just the mind and being academically prepared, but also the body and the soul, right? We want to make sure that you as a whole person are genuinely okay. That is something that we truly embody, I know on Xavier's campus and all throughout the Jesuit network, right? You will see things like different fitness classes. I know, for example, on Xavier's campus, we just have this brand new recreational facility, which I'm super jealous of, because our old Scooby-Doo building that we had for a rec center was absolutely awful. And so you guys get this brand new facility that really encourages students to go out and be active and to exercise and to work on that physical aspect, along with the mental side of things, right? And so these are just some of, again, the core elements of what we would say create a Xavier or a Jesuit education at the end of the day. Adam?
Yeah, great. So thank you so much. You touched on so many amazing opportunities and so many amazing points. And before I dive into kind of that Jesuit philosophy, I just want to say I think the best thing about being a part of this network of 27 different colleges and universities is that, you know, for example, John Carroll and Xavier, we are both within the state of Ohio. We compete for a lot of the same students, so we are oftentimes viewed as like rivals with each other. But because we are both Jesuit schools, we believe in the same things. We believe in looking out for people. You know, if people come to me and say, hey, I'm interested in this particular program and John Carroll doesn't have it, but I know Xavier has it, I say, go check out Xavier, because I know Xavier is going to take care of students just like John Carroll does. So I think that's one of the absolute coolest things, and that's why I love doing these, you know, types of panels and things. So thank you so much for all of your words. But the Jesuit philosophy really lies in a beautiful kind of core curriculum system. So it is for sure liberal arts education, and it's a well-rounded education. I think that's one of the most important factors. You know, when students are coming in, I never say to them, what do you want to do? I always say, what are you interested in? Because this Jesuit education, because it is liberal arts, because it is so well-rounded, regardless of whether you're, you know, a STEM person, a liberal arts person, a more kind of in the middle person, or you're what I was, an I don't know person. You know, I'm interested in 20 different fields. I don't know what I want to do. You know, that's where Jesuit education really comes in that philosophy of the core curriculum, because it allows you to grow. It actually gives you the space to breathe and grow as a person and as an engaged citizen. And it leads you to make these connections across all different disciplines. You know, I'm sure it's exactly the same way as Xavier, but we have so many students that, you know, will double major in biology and communications. And a lot of people go, those two things don't go together. Or they'll major in like art history and engineering. And it's like, whoa, those two things don't go together. But this Jesuit philosophy and core curriculum allows you to take different fields, put them together, and find the common threads among all different programs and majors and walks of life. It makes you write better. It makes you think more critically, analyze things, question things more, rather than just say, okay, this is how the world is. You look at things more of how can the world be? How can I be a part of it and make it better? And I think that's such an amazing thing about our philosophy and core for sure. Jumping in immediately at inclusivity, it is one of the things that is most near and dear to my heart in our Jesuit education and beliefs, is really valuing diversity. And I think that's such an incredible thing. I was lucky enough to grow up in a very diverse area, in a very diverse community. And that's what our community is all about too. And I know it's the same at Xavier, very, very much diverse, open to people from all different walks of life, all different faiths and backgrounds. A lot of times when you hear Jesuit Catholic University, you go, oh, well, I'm not Catholic, so that's not for me. You know, we have students on groups that on campus that are Jewish, that are Buddhist. We even have students that are agnostic, and we welcome everybody, you know, because surrounding yourself with different people is how you learn to think more critically. It's how you learn to grow, by taking in different ideas, but also giving people your ideas. It's about communication. It's about respect, and it's across the board. It's about educating men and women for and with others. It's not excluding men into one category, excluding women into another. It's about bringing people together. We have this kind of base core educational system and philosophy, but also being aware of people's thoughts and needs and wants, and listening to people and having people heard. We have so many clubs and organizations around John Carroll University that specifically gear towards literally people just talking to each other and listening to each other. And, you know, when we have disagreements, we sit down and we talk about them, and we promote those things. And we want people to learn these things at John Carroll and then go out into the world and continue to kind of spread that idea of, let's listen to each other. Let's talk to each other. Let's be friendly to each other. Let's be kind. Let's be inclusive with each other. And then once again, as it was touched on earlier, Cura Personalis, that mind, body, spirit, is just an incredible thing. When you're looking at the mind, you're talking about all the different services that are offered on both of our campuses, in terms of, you know, whether you're struggling with something or you're really beating yourself up over, you know, having those different types of counseling services, academic support services, tutoring, things like that, health and wellness, touched on a little bit earlier with Xavier, and with John Carroll's campus as well. We just opened a bunch of brand new fitness studios around campus. And it was because students said they wanted it. And I think that's one of the coolest things about a Jesuit kind of education is students spoke out and said, you know what, John Carroll doesn't have a dedicated yoga fitness studio and we want it. So we built one and we just opened it for our students because we listen to our students. And I know Xavier is the exact same way. You listen to your student body, you hear them. And that's from the top down. I know our president of our university, Dr. Johnson, well. I see him walking around the campus. I can say hi to him. It's not some hierarchy where we're afraid to talk to each other. You know, we joke around with each other. We laugh with each other. He talks about the jogs that he goes on and things like that. Like, it's that connection with people. And then you look at body, obviously, fitness centers. We have 23 NCAA Division III athletics, you know, club sports, intramural sports, personal trainers on campus. We have the healthy living options where you can live in healthy campus communities. You can get specialty meals prepared for you, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the spirit. You know, whether campus ministry is something for you or not for you, we have other areas of getting involved. You know, a huge percentage of our students are involved in campus ministry. And I think the beautiful thing is it's not required. It's like it was touched on earlier, things like service work and that, it's not required. Our students do it because they want to, because they love it. And when people are doing things because they want to, that kind of interfaith way of viewing things, it's so much stronger. If you're at things, if you're going on retreats and participating in events because you want to be there rather than because you think you should be there, I just think it says so much more. And then the impact of Jesuit mission on the admissions process. One thing I can say for sure is we have a holistic review process for admissions. It is very much involved, you know, in terms of finding the right fit for the university. That's the most important thing. Focusing on educating the whole person. You know, bringing in students that are going to be a good academic fit, that are going to be a good personal fit. It is really important. So we want people that are going to be involved and active on our campus, and people that are willing to speak up and have their voices heard, and people that are willing to get involved and be active and, you know, focus on different aspects of the Jesuit education and figuring out, you know, what you love. What do you want to do? What kind of person do you want to be? You know, all of those things are so important at John Carroll. So, and I know Xavier as well. And, you know, so when we're reviewing applications, you know, we want to know what you're doing outside of the classroom, what kind of clubs, activities, involvement, service work. Do you have a job? Do you do volunteer work, scouting, all that kind of stuff? We just think that those make, you know, a more well-rounded, more educated student. That's a really good fit for that kind of Jesuit feel of doing things. You know, and then offering a school, obviously, for every type of student. Some of our schools are a lot bigger. Some of our schools are a lot smaller and more kind of niche and personalized. Some of the schools are right in the heart of major cities. And some of the schools are, you know, outside of cities and kind of a more residential neighborhood type of areas. So we like to say that regardless of what you're interested in, where you want to go and what you want to be a part of, you know, a Jesuit university is able to offer that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about, here we go with John Carroll University. Some information about John Carroll University, you know, just kind of some of our fast facts, if you will. So we are located about 15-20 minutes from downtown Cleveland. We have about 3,100 undergraduates on campus, so we were considered right in that kind of small to medium-sized institution in over 70 different areas of study, from very STEM-based programs, like biology and chemistry, mathematics, engineering, and physics, to very liberal arts-based programs like communication, psychology, education, sociology. And then kind of in the middle, I would say, is our Bowler College of Business, which externally we're really well known for. As I said earlier, we have 23 NCAA Division III athletics, over 100 different student-run organizations, and we can really proudly say that last year our students did over 146,000 hours of service. Now that is completely volunteer based, and with students coming together to do that many hours of service in a completely volunteer based setting, I think just really speaks volumes to the involvement and the quality and the type of student that we have. Some of our signature programs, our Boulder College of Business was ranked #1 in job readiness by Bloomberg Business Week, which was pretty amazing. Those specialty business areas like accountancy, entrepreneurship, And then programs like exercise science and sports studies, which is really great for us being so close to so many professional sports organizations and those partnerships. And then obviously the NBC News Meet the Press Fellowship is one of the coolest things that we can offer. And it was started by an alum of ours and continues as kind of a journey that students can take. So some of our scholarship opportunities, real quick, is we offer merit scholarships up to $27,000 per year. You don't have to apply to them. Your common application is your merit scholarship application. We are currently open for applications. And then we have multiple mission-based scholarships, which you can earn up to $5,000 off per year in new different fields. And then starting this year, really excited to say that we have a new Ignatian Heritage Scholarship, which if you qualify for that, you can receive full tuition, which is a pretty cool scholarship. We are test optional for this year, so you can still be considered for full merit scholarship just with your GPA. If you have taken tests though, we accept ACT or SAT, and we do super score, so you can test and retest as many times as you like. And then our application is open for early action through December 1st, and after that we go into rolling admissions. So my contact information is in the bottom corner. Please connect with me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any of those for you.
Perfect. Sorry, everybody. My video, I think, got frozen, but I'm still here. So right now, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about like Xavier Student Body overall, sort of what we offer, and sort of clarify and clear up any misconceptions about Xavier. So first of all, we have a very diverse student body, especially in terms of geographical diversity. Most of our students come from out of state, right? 60% of our students are out of state students, which to me was amazing. Like two of my best friends, they both lived together freshman year. One was from San Diego, California. The other was from Bronx, New York. They ended up living together. They still live together in Cincinnati today. So their friendship has lasted and it is very strong. And to me, that is amazing just because they come from like two totally different sides of the U.S., two different walks of life, very different backgrounds. And the fact that they have been able to not only create but maintain this relationship over the 4 years just really says a lot about the Xavier culture and the ideas that bring people together. Another stat that I like to mention is the 20% student of color. That has tremendously risen since I started Xavier back in 2014. That number was a lot lower. And to see now, especially from like the staff's perspective, how that's improving over the years and how we continue to improve and the programs and things that we're doing to increase that number to be competitive with like local schools like University of Cincinnati, like the Ohio State University, that is a very positive, good feeling for myself. And then another thing is we have 20 different religions represented on campus. Going back to what Adam said, it is a very open, embracing culture, community, family of people from so many different backgrounds, religions, creeds. We have people from the Judeo faith working full-time staff on Xavier's campus. That is, to me, a very beautiful thing, just because they give connection and resources to students that may not have the Catholic Jesuit background, but still want to maintain and practice their own faith. So that is definitely something to be very proud about. Next, I do want to continue on a little bit more about the student body. A lot of people have the idea that Xavier University is a very small school, and that's not necessarily the case. We have just under 5,000 students, which means we have a 12-to-1 student-faculty ratio. To me, honestly, the professors are probably the best aspect about Xavier University. Some of the relationships I have created have lasted till this day, which is absolutely fantastic for me. I have had the opportunity to babysit and make some extra cash for professors. I've had the opportunity to have Thanksgiving dinner with professors, and that's because you get to know your professors. Like, they know you during your 4 years there, especially after your sophomore year. Once you start to get more into your major, like, your professors will get to really genuinely know you and get to know more about you, right? However, even though we have just under 5,000 students, I like to clarify that that doesn't mean that we have that small school feel, right? We definitely have a big school feel. First of all, we're 10 minutes outside of downtown Cincinnati. Downtown Cincinnati is a very large city in the Midwest that has so much to offer, right? 3 major sports teams, all are extremely horrible, so you guys get cheap tickets to go to the games. That's always nice, right? We have a wonderful museum system, some of the best museums in the US. We have a really cool network of festivals and events that held downtown as well, right? So all these different things sort of allow our students to go down, be a part of downtown, be a part of the city life, the big city life, but also not have to be in the hustle and bustle of like traffic every day, that sort of thing, right? So they can always come back home to campus when they want. Another thing is that we have like 170 different clubs and activities offered on campus. Like we have clubs that I had no idea we had during my 4 years. For example, the equestrian team, like the people that ride the horses. I think that's amazing. I had no idea that we had like a club like that, and they go out and compete with other schools. So like we do a bunch of stuff like that, right? We have clubs pertaining to the arts, clubs pertaining to the academics. So even if you have a club, let's say in your high school right now, that we don't have at Xavier University, you could go and talk to student advisory councils, start your own club, and possibly even get funding for that club, right? So just so many different opportunities, there. Lastly, another reason that we are such a big school feel is because of our D1 national basketball team, right? A lot of people, especially out of state, if you know of Xavier, you know of Xavier's basketball team. Top 25 almost every year. We're in the Big East, which is one of the most competitive basketball conferences in college basketball. And we compete. Like we play really good teams, first of all, and then we go out and compete almost every year. And those games, honestly, are some of the most exhilarating experiences in the Cintas Center, which is one of the best arenas in college basketball right now. So definitely you get that big school feel, even though we have like the smaller school aspect. It is a wonderful campus. Right now we are hosting visits. And so if you guys have some time, you will get a very individualized, personalized tour. We are definitely social distancing, staying safe and everything. But we do like to let our students know that we do have those opportunities. If any of you guys do have any questions, don't use the name and email under my Zoom chat link. That I am not Julie Nelson. My name, again, is Dallas Stokes, and you'll see my email at the last page here. Thank you guys again.
Thanks, Dallas. Real quick, he reminded me of something I don't know if I touched on, is that John Carroll is open for visits as well. We are open for information sessions and tours. Once again, like Xavier, we're keeping things on a small, personalized, limited basis, limited spaces, but we are offering more of a one-on-one tour with families and information sessions as well. So if you want to come visit either one of our schools, we're happy to connect with you and talk to you and, kind of make that happen. So the next slide is about St. Louis University. And as we said, the rep for St. Louis University is not here, but this is some of the information about St. Louis University. It's definitely a school that, I would say John Carroll's kind of that, much more kind of smaller, personalized feeling type of university, just over 3,000 students, average class size of about 20 students, and then Xavier, is bigger than us and offers kind of more, of that, smaller things, but also larger things. We're both located near major cities that have so many amazing opportunities. And then St. Louis University is definitely the biggest of the three of us. But as you'll see here, what's really interesting is a lot of similarities as well. Even though the population is much larger than us, we offer a lot of the same types of numbers in terms of, academic programs or athletics or clubs or activities. And you'll find that kind of across the board of all Jesuit universities because we value really providing our students with an amazing academic education, but also really providing them with so many things to do outside of the classroom in terms of involvement and, athletic sports and clubs and different activities and service work and religiously affiliated work, and then things off campus. I'm a big fan of Cincinnati. I have friends that live in that area. I love the area. I love going down there. And I have friends in Cincinnati that come up to the Cleveland area all the time and that love coming up here to check out our museums or our sports teams. And we're kind of having a rough go at it too. But our Metro Park system, which is one of the biggest in the country, or, Playhouse Square or Theater District, so I think kind of the commonality between all of these schools is regardless of kind of what size you're looking for, what types of majors you're looking for, whatever it may be, you're going to find differences between us and what we're offering and where we're located, but so many universal similarities. And I think that's something that just ties us all together and makes us, you know, a tight-knit Jesuit community for sure. So now we're going to turn it over to questions. You know, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, you know, you can feel free to ask us those now. And, you know, if not, perfectly fine. And we're all good with that. But before I kind of want to get out of that, Dallas, is there anything else you wanted to add additionally? Or just kind of throw in there as well for our students, or just for a peace of kind of mind for anybody?
No, I think you touched on a really good point at the end there. Is like, at the end of the day, our institutions are going to offer a lot of similar aspects. Now, of course, we're going to have our distinct qualities and characteristics, but at the end of the day, we're touching on the universal core characteristics that we all share. And again, that's a very beautiful thing to have all across the U.S. and all across the world.
For sure. Absolutely. And that's what I love about working at a Jesuit institution, is that some of us compete with each other. Some of us go after the same kinds of students and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, we're one community and we all have the same ideals and ways of doing things. Sometimes it's a little bit different, bigger, smaller, urban, suburban, whatever it may be. But at the root of it, you're getting that Jesuit education, which for me personally, at the end of the day, it just means that we care about who you are. It means that we care about your growth, and it means that we want to get you on the right path. So whether that's at John Carroll, whether that's at Xavier, or whether that's at St. Louis University, or any one of the other Jesuit institutions, you know, you're going to find a community of people that care about you. I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day. You'll get an amazing education by people that you can form real relationships with. So. All right. Well, if that's going to be all, I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. And we are going to begin wrapping it up. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great.
No questions or anything from anyone?
I do not see any questions in the question box.
Okay.
And so, but just a reminder for those who maybe are just watching and absorbing all of it, just thanks so much to both Dallas and to both of them, Adam and Dallas, this evening for their time. Students and families, if you're interested in getting information, it's been shared with you. This session on the Jesuit colleges in the Midwest is being recorded, and it will be available for you. And all sessions can be available at indianaacac.org/virtual college exploration. And just to, again, let everyone know that you can certainly sign up for more sessions at the website that was shared a bit earlier. And so I am going to stop sharing my screen and just say again, thanks very much to everybody for coming this evening. And thanks so much again for Adam and Alice's time and their professionalism and their great information. You guys are awesome.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. We really do appreciate it, guys.
Have a great night, everybody.
Take care.